My parents always said I was so lucky that I know what I want to do because a lot of people don't know what they want to do. And if I didn't know what I wanted to do, I don't know how I would go through life. You know, it's literally never even been a question since I was 3 months old. Since I could think, since I could even understand myself. I've just known that I was going to do art.
See things from the ground. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Unblonde is Jean-Sebastian Audet, who's a 21-year-old savant from Montreal who spent his formative years making music in Calgary. He was born in Montreal, and then when he was 16 or so, maybe a little bit earlier, he was in Calgary making music with Faux Fur and a bunch of other projects. And when he was in his late teens, he came back to Montreal and started making music as Unblonde.
On the jury, I voted for Good Will Come to You.
Oh yeah, I'm free.
I hadn't heard of it before this year, but it was heavily recommended. I listened to this album, so overtaken by it. It was 45 minutes of just this beautiful noise that kind of all blends together. It's some of the noises from one song will bleed into the other. Some songs are instrumental, some songs have the verse-chorus, verse structure. It's very much an album that you have to listen to from start to finish. That's why I thought it was one of the best albums of the year.
I'm Free is just a declaration, an exclamation of how mentally stable and comfortable and just free I am. And I really understand that about myself.
Each song is really dense, bubbling over with different musical ideas and different conceptual ones. And just hearing the way that he deploys styles, the way that he uses song structure, the way that he sort of weaves these themes in and out of the songs is really beautiful. And no one's really doing the kind of work that he's doing in Canadian music right now.
Staying in line yesterday. I step out into the world and down the road. If you look familiar.
Staying in Line is a really interesting song because if you really pick apart the elements of it, you hear an ambulance, you hear seagulls, you hear this guitar that's affected such that it almost sounds like a country twang.
Focus my time and energy.
There are all these different elements at play, and then there's the repetition of what became the title of the album, Good Will Come to You, and then Good Will Come to Me, Good Will Come to Us. Again, it's also really slow, contemplative, and reflective. Really, it feels like a mantra-driven song.
It's very in tune with what a lot of artists we're seeing today, like Frank Ocean or Solange or a lot of Toronto guys that are doing music now, but he's just carving out his own niche in this very ambient, beautiful, uplifting space.
It's a really languid, slow, contemplative album. Like I felt really like stepping into like a ray of sunshine, and just when you're just in your apartment and it's like 4 o'clock and you're like, I don't have to do any more work today. That was the kind of feeling that washed over me when I listened to it for the first time.
Good will come. Good will come.
Felt good. acknowledging every day is so important to me, you know. And if I'm not expressing that day, somehow it's like it's gone, you know. Music is nothing but positivity for me. Or art in general, you know, just expressing myself and documenting every day because I'm so afraid of losing myself.
If I was brand new, I could step away.
One of my favorite songs is Brand New. There's this nice, really soft percussion playing. There's a really, like a little nice fingerpick guitar, and then there's his vocals. And he keeps layering his vocals so that it builds and builds and builds, and it builds into this beautiful choir, and then at the end it kind of just stops and disappears, goes into nowhere. And you know, it's such a short song, it's so abrupt, but it's also very satisfying. I understand that he went to church, but he's never sang in it or anything like that. He has no direct connection to a gospel choir. So I think he's inspired by gospel the way a lot of us are inspired by it, whether you have a connection to the church or not. You hear it, and you can't help but be uplifted by it. So I think that's what he's done in trying to, like, multi-tracking his voice to get this gospel effect. Is just, I think it just comes naturally. I think he's inspired by life and by love and by every day, as opposed to anything overtly religious.
There's a real intimacy that makes me feel like he, I know this is kind of presumptuous, but I feel like he'd be a really great friend.
I think genre-wise, he falls into what this new genre of music is, which is basically no genre. It's these young artists are taking everything they like and they're putting it together. There's no more boxes, like they're completely gone. He's soul, he's gospel, he's folk, R&B, world, indie rock. He's just, all the music that he grew up listening to is all in this one thing. And I think that's what a lot of young musicians are doing today.
Considering that the whole trajectory of Jean-Sebastian Audet's career is almost fits into 5 years since he started. I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to finding out where he ends up. I mean, if he continues to release an album a year and this kind of prolific amount of work, then I have no idea where he's going to be, but I will be one of the first in line to listen to it.
Maybe the next album in this trilogy of colors, the Blue Album, maybe that'll be the one that make people finally pay attention to him.
On that highway, with the moon on the rise, moon on the run, brilliant blue goes wild, let's go away.
I mean, this is really just the tip of the iceberg. I feel like I can do so much more. I just hope I can do it for as long as possible, because otherwise, outside of this life, I'm not going to have that opportunity again, you know.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, no, thank you.